What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action, spawning in the red color, playing as Hades. His name is Nullus. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Ra. It's none other than your favorite Ra player, Kimo. The map is Frozen Wastes. We're doing some catch up on some games that were played over the past month or so. Watching Kimo playing his Ra is always a treat, especially on some of these more open maps like Frozen Wastes. He really, whenever you talk to him about Ra, he really does enjoy the speed of Ra, the camelry having all that extra speed, the chariot archers having all that extra speed and being able to get around the map and cause problems for his opponent to have to kind of deal with on the villager lines, on random picks on military, out of position military, and all the other good stuff. But for the moment here, he's going to be going up against Nullus. Obviously, Nullus, one of, if not the best Hades player playing this game at the moment. So basically what we normally see from Nullus is a big boom. And I talk about this a little bit in terms of the Greek players that do the Greek versus Egyptian matchup well. And Nullus is, generally speaking, one of them. He's very, very clean with his allocation of resources. He gets the right resources in the right amount of villages on the right resources. He gets the buildings out that he needs. He gets the walls up. He plays the fundamentals at a very, very high level. And it can be very, very challenging to play against a player like Nullus, who is so kind of defensively orientated, so fundamentally orientated. As we do see Nullus doing a classic Nullus-ism, so to speak. He moves forward onto these walrus a little bit early, leaving these hunt spots in his main base still there for him for later, with the villagers coming out of the town. So the idea of this is that if he eats all of this hunt first and then sends the villagers forward onto a secondary hunt spot, this home hunt might finish before anything happens. And what he wants to do with these villagers on this hunt spot is to move them over onto wood lines or onto the gold line or something like that. So this is the reasoning, makes it a little bit more efficient later. It's not efficient now, but it is efficient later. And obviously right now he doesn't need all that food. So a little bit of an interesting decision. Now, you don't necessarily have to do this. And especially on a map with like this much food, you could do a little bit more of a ordering thing earlier and potentially go into these elk over here a little bit earlier. Could have been another way to go about it, but Nullus likes this nonetheless. So we'll see how he's going to go. Kimo, on the other hand, he's already got his temple up at the moment. He is going for a fast advance here. It looks like it's a 416 advance. I don't see a monument just yet, but he's going up through Shadoof. And he's going to be taking control of the map very, very soon. I'll be interested to see if he decides to go for some sort of fast second town center, or if he's going to be going for a classical fight. With 6 villagers on gold, the rest on food, there is the option to build that barracks, make a handful of spearmen first, try and cause some problems for Nullus. If Nullus goes for a later advance time to grab a second town center, he can make those spearmen, try and take out the town center, or at least cause some problems where that's concerned. Or alternatively, he can just go for that second town center nonetheless. Now, I'm not sure he's quite going to have, I think he will have the gold actually, so probably going to be that town center. This one over here is decent with this gold mine over here, but the forward town center here is really, really nice for Kimo. With all of these elk on this one, he's going to be really enjoying that. Now, he's not actually aware that that's the case, but it will be his better choice. Now, the question is, which one is he actually going to go for after this classical age hits? Now, he has the perfect amount of gold, and he does decide to pull every one of those villagers off of gold here and jumping up onto this top town center. So a little bit of I guess, misfortune for Kimo to start this game off. If he'd seen that this town center has this hunt on it, I think he would have gone for this one 9 times out of 10. But Ra doesn't have a scout, so it can be a little bit like that. And another thing here that I really like that Nullus is doing is he's making the effort. He's actually not scouting Kimo. He almost knows what Kimo's doing before he does it, just by looking at that second age, seeing Bast or seeing seeing Bast or seeing Tar, kind of knows what's coming for him, so he can make that decision without needing to actually scout. He can make decisions without actually needing to scout. He also sees Kimo getting that second town center, and he's very, very aware of what's going to be coming for him here in this game. But most importantly, if we take a quick look at this, he's already got 14 goats. He's got a couple more coming over here, 4 more. So he's going to have 18 goats in his main base. So that's a ton of economy for him to have as he does move over onto this town center. He's going for the 4 town center first, which does secure maybe 2 gold mines. Definitely this back one at the very least with sentinels. This one over here is a little bit more out in the open, but you could definitely put a fortress down here a little bit later and feel very, very secure where that's concerned. Kimo, on the other hand here, there's a world where if you really get into the nitty-gritty of this, you see Nullus advancing that late. There's a world where you can kind of take a guess and understand that potentially Nullus is going for 3 town centers here with that late of an advance time. I'm not sure if he actually is or not. It looks like he's not, but he actually might be. You can see he's got the wood, he's got the gold coming in, so he very well might be. And you can make that guess, so to speak, and actually go for your own 3rd town center nice and early, because you know that your opponent's not really going to have all too many heroes out, or not all too much harassment out. As the Ajax does come over here, and Kimo's going to have to bail. So Nullus as well, I don't see him getting that next town center, though his villagers have been pulled off of the gold mine for the time being. And it does look like he's sending them over there. There we go. So he is going for 3 town centers. Kimo is going to be going for a 2 town center fast heroic. He's not going to be having the swift, quick farm upgrades, because actually he does have Shadoof and pickaxe, excuse me, so it's not that bad, but it's not that 5-15 2 town center raw fast fast farm strategy which gets you like an 8-minute 12-ish advance time. It's a little bit slower, but it's going to be very, very economical because he's going to have that town center down much, much sooner than that 5-15. So he's going to have more resources, but he's going to have a later heroic age. So we're going to see how he's going to be able to utilize that moving forward here, as the villagers grabbing all these farms up, doing everything they can. There's the rain here from Kimo as well as more farms coming. Now let's count them up. He does have 16 farms, so that's a huge amount of economy going to be coming in very, very quickly. Nullus, on the other hand, 3rd town center just about to come up. He's got those goats in position as well. No villagers on gold just yet. No attempt at building a single military unit safe for those Chiron and Ajax that he's built here. So no military buildings just yet. There are some relics on the map with the scales of Catoplopas, which does give the Myth unit crush vulnerability reduction there. So that's going to be helping out his Minotaur, his Nemean Lion potentially, a Manticore potentially. I imagine he's going to be going through Aphrodite in this one, but we'll see how things are going to go. As Kimo still not advancing. 9-minute heroic age here. Very, very late, but honestly, I don't think it matters as much as we make it out to be. Especially in a 1v1. If you're playing in a team game and you're going for these later advanced times, what ends up happening is your partners end up dying and you don't end up doing anything to help out, and everyone starts crying in chat and then resigning quite quickly. So you can't really do this in team games, but in the 1v1 it doesn't really matter because your opponent here has to basically deal with what you're doing. And we are seeing with Nullus having 3 town centers, he's getting his walls set up, but it is going to be frozen waste. So those raids are going to be coming nonetheless. We see a stable coming up here in the middle of the map to kick off the military, but Nullus has only got 6 villages on wood at the moment, which means his military buildings are going to be coming down very, very slowly here, in all honesty, as he's slowly starting to put some more units. So he's got so many villagers on food. This food is going to skyrocket. Kind of feels like he wants to go to the heroic age really, really quickly. And I don't blame him with the idea of potentially getting himself out some prodromus to deal with a whole bunch of those camelry raids here. But the question always does remain, and it's very difficult to answer this as the Greek player. What sort of composition is the Ra player actually going for? Because the Ra player, while they do go for a fast farm, they're going to have a ton of food, so you can kind of expect cavalry. They can just take the villagers off of food after the rain and just throw everyone onto wood and goes mass chariot archers here as well. But given Kimo's economic layout at the moment, it looks like he's going for mass cavalry. So some sort of semi-fast or fast heroic here from Nullus is going to be pretty useful, but it does look like he is indeed going to be going for those Hippocon to kick this one off. As the rock coming through, the Chiron has already spotted this. Nullus a little bit of a missed micro here as he's trying to get a little bit closer to the rock. His wall here is going to be kind of helping Kimo out a little bit as he needs to run around that one there. Locust Swarm getting dropped down, doesn't get a single villager, well, one villager kill there as the Chiron still in hot pursuit of that rock here, moving into the main base. There's actually nothing in the rock, it looks like, for Kimo. He's literally just setting this one in, going to be sacrificing it to the gods, so to speak, as the town center will be able to finish this one off here. And does he get damage onto the town center? Sometimes it does, like... No, it doesn't. Sometimes there's this weird crunching sound that happens afterwards. As we do see a third town center coming up here for Kimo, but Nullus is on the prowl here for a villager kill or two. He knows he's probably not going to be able to stop this at this point. Well, he doesn't get the villager kill there, but he knows he's not going to be able to stop this, but just getting a little bit of pain in onto Kimo to delay this. We do see a very, very early restoration. That's a surprise there, but it does delay that town center in a big, big way and get a couple of villager kills as Kimo's going to have to retreat back into the main base. Kimo at this point, he is pumping out those units. One Migdol only here. Probably could do with a second one if we're completely honest at this point, or even get some barracks down and make some spearmen, but he's going to be pumping out onto this position here. Nullus, on the other hand, he's ready to go to the next stage. He's getting that armory out. It's going to be a really, really nice 3-town center, couple of military units, heroic case. Look at the resources drop right down to basically 0 here. If he'd actually clicked up there, he would have been basically at 0 resources. So kind of a little bit late on that one, but there we go. Now he's going to be advancing. He's going through Aphrodite. I like the decision making there. More walls coming up all over the map. Again, this is frozen waste. So the way to wall is to basically wall around your gold mine to these trees, so to speak. Rather than just straight across the map like Nullus is doing here. But this does kind of make things a little bit difficult for the raids. And all you really need to do is make things a little bit difficult at this level to kind of slow down your opponent. Things like if they want to raid over here, they have to kind of sneak through over this way and then over here, or run all the way around the outside. And that can be an easy thing to then react to, because the units have to take a longer way to get to the villages otherwise. Checking out the economic upgrades we're moving forward here as well. Bowsaw is in for Nullus already, and Pickaxe. Kimo, on the other hand, I imagine he's already got Shaft Mine, or he's actually already got Quarry here, as well as Irrigation. So that's going to pay itself off very, very quickly. Kimo getting some scouting information done at the top of the map here. Barracks is going up on this spot here, as well as a siege works to get some pressure up to the top left side of the map here. And Nullus is going to be happily just taking his time here. He knows that the big timing that Kimo has in this game is going to be that Son of Osiris, most likely here. And I imagine with all the villagers on food here and the fact that Kimo is getting closer and closer to full population, he's going to be going Mythic Age probably in the next couple of minutes here. Moving forward in this game. So Nullus has got to really get to that Mythic Age quite quickly. He's got the marker coming down just with one villager, so it will be around about 3 minutes before Nullus actually hits the Mythic Age, but he's probably going to be hitting that Mythic Age at roughly the same time as Kimo, especially dropping that curse down nice and early, forcing Kimo to make a couple more units out here. And Kimo at this point has not really managed to inflict any damage onto Nullus thus far. He's been 3 town centers for ages. He's got all the economy going. He's at full villages at the moment. So Nullus is in the driver's seat here. Kimo's going to have to work something out. And if we take a look, he's getting himself that fortified town centers. He's got 2 Migdols now, so he can actually start his production fairly quickly. He does have himself a handful of armory upgrades, and you can see that Nullus isn't going for any armory upgrades at the moment, which does indicate some sort of attempt to go for a Hephaestus idea. Even though there is a potential for also having like an early Artemis and just getting those upgrades a little bit later, as we do see a marker coming up over here. The villager turning around, it does get sniped down. Another Migdol stronghold to come up to secure this gold mine on the right side of the map here, as we do see a little bit of raids onto the left side here as the Sentinels does get dropped down. Would love to see that fortress up on this gold mine just to ensure that Nullus can hold onto it here, as Kimo still kind of getting pushed around over on this spot, but Kimo's gold situation is very, very secure. He's got those 2 Migdols up in a big way. Nullus, on the other hand, he's clicked up through Hephaestus. He doesn't have fortified town centers just yet, but it doesn't really matter. Getting that Hephaestus in this early is going to be gigantic. But then again, he still has to wait for Forge of Olympus, which takes 1 minute, and everything else that comes in afterwards for this Mythic Age to really kick in. Yes, he does get access to Heliopolis. Yes, he does get access to the Colossus as well. But it's the time that matters here. So Kimo needs to get something done here very, very quickly. He is still getting these raids in. But with the town center and the sentinels over here, this gold mine's very, very safe. This gold mine's very, very safe. Again, another fortress over here, or a fortress over here would be a big, big help, especially on this gold mine here as well, as Nullus is still moving back and forth into the center of the map, trying to get some good fights in, as we do see some Prodromus coming in onto this one, as well as the Nemean Lion going to come around onto the back. But just one Nemean Lion here, not going to be that helpful in the slightest, as we do see the Plentyvault in and Forge of Olympus too, as well as already able to build some more Colossus if he needs to. He's got 42 favor in the bank. I'd love to see the fortified town centers in, as it just come in just in the nick of time there, as the Migdol stronghold on this position going to be getting slowly taken down by a handful of Hippocons. Kimo not paying attention to that one just yet. Kimo has hit full population for the time being, but he's still struggling to get that gold income to get himself to the Mythic Age. He is making himself some camel caravans, but on the map Frozen Waste, these camel caravans just aren't that efficient here. He's going over to this town center, it seems. No, where is he going? He's going to the hometown center. So we do see that he's getting what? 42 gold? Excuse me, 42 gold at this point in this game. That's not gathering as fast as a quarry villager. So he's kind of having some troubles here. Basically 100 goldish is about better than a quarry villager. So we'll see if Kimo's going to fix this up. He does go up to the market here, but I think it's still going to be a less than ideal situation for Kimo. And not only that, Nullus not going for a trade route here in this game will give him a little bit more population to play with to make some sort of a push happen. So we'll see how it's all going to go, as we are seeing slight raids coming up onto this position here. We do still have the heavy Prodromus and the Toxotes in position to defend, as well as those armor upgrades starting to come through. Full copper just about in for Nullus, and that's just going to keep getting more and more for Nullus, as we do see the gold mine over here getting targeted down. As now the Kimo units retreating back, but we see more armor upgrades. We do see just bronze shields able to be afforded here. These raids are hurting in a big way for the time being, as the Hades Shade coming through to bash away those camelry for the time being here as well. As still more raids at the top here. Nullus is struggling a little bit for golds here, so these raids from Kimo are really working here. But while it's all happening, Nullus is making some good trades in the center of the map. And he is starting to control this center of the map with the fortress over here. I'm a bit surprised to see the fortress on this spot here rather than on this gold mine. You can see that Kimo has taken advantage of having this spot for the time being here, as the wall's coming up for Kimo to protect this trade route as well here. And Nullus tries to push forward at the moment. Kimo has to retreat back yet again, but now it's going to be some bronze upgrades in. Still no bronze weapons. There's bronze weapons, bronze mail. So next is going to be the iron. Big, big advantage coming in now for Nullus if he gets those iron upgrades. Kimo's already got up to bronze, so he's kind of in an equal spot, but he is behind a little bit on the tech. No heavy chariots, no heavy spearmen. The cavalry are heavy though, so those are going to be a little bit of a help, as we are seeing some hoplites coming in to be a little bit of a nuisance there, as the Pharaoh coming in to try and take out the Colossus here as well, as more military academies coming down. And I think as this game is continuing, Nullus, he really does need to secure like this gold mine or both, in all honesty, because he hasn't started a trade route. He's got no intention of starting a trade route here. And I don't think he should. I think he should be going for a win a little bit earlier than needing to start a trade route and going long here against the Ra. But we'll see how things are going to go. Obviously, Hades does win the late game, but on Frozen Waste with the rubbish trade routes, things start to favor the Ra just ever so slightly here, as the Toxotes, champion Toxotes, is in. Does he have some iron coming in? Yes, iron mail coming in as well. Iron weapons. He's about to be very, very upgraded in this game, as Kimo has slipped a little bit in the score here. Is Kimo going Mythic Age? Yes, he is. He has that Osiris coming in. Kimo trying to keep that Pharaoh at full HP, but he's stuck inside the fortified town center for the time being, As Nullus with Burning Pitch can actually start using those Toxotes, not really efficiently, but relatively not wastefully onto the town center, getting a little bit of extra damage there from that Burning Pitch. As there's the Mythic Age hit now for Kimo. He will be able to pop out here. Son of Osiris does come through, 455 HP remaining as the Colossus gets taken out here. And Nullus might need to retreat away, trying to get that Garrison Micro here to win these fights. Moving forward, as we do see some watchtowers coming through for Nullus onto that spot there as well. As the Son of Osiris here popping back in and out of the town center. Kimo trying to micro this here as best as he can. But honestly, it's just so challenging to defend these positions here for Kimo. He's got so much trade route, but he's really only got Mercenary that he can build here because he's got so much population. And I'm not sure he can even afford it. At the moment, he does have a little bit of gold in the bank. You can see it's not even at 160 population here. As Nullus decides to retreat back ever so slightly, he does fall behind a little bit in population, but the Heliopolis now starting to roll in here as another tower is coming through. The watchtowers don't have themselves crenellations just yet, but the barracks will end up falling on the front, and this town center is already at 1800 HP. Kimo's going to have to start bringing villagers over here to repair this one. He does get the one villager with the Son of Osiris here empowering this. This does go up very, very quickly, even just with one villager, but more coming in is going to boost this significantly. With all these towers on the front, this is going to become very, very challenging for Kimo. Kimo needs to get out both siege towers and catapults. Siege towers to deal with the Heliopoli, catapults to deal with the towers. Otherwise, life is going to get very challenging for him very, very quickly here. Kimo here, very low on the resources. He's got a couple of idle chariots here, and I love this fortress. We were talking about this one before to defend that gold mine on the left side of the map there for Nullus. Means no little niggly raids are going to work against him moving forward here. As the siege works, does manage to get itself that siege engineering out. Breaking through this siege works will kind of allow the siege tower into the fight here, but chariot archers here, heavy chariots, they don't have the iron upgrades. Nullus has still got those full iron upgrades, so he's still able to make this push work very, very well. But the Son of Osiris, still 200 HP alive here. Maybe just getting a couple of Toxotes just to target the Son of Osiris here. You don't have to bring all of them there and get them all out of position, but just getting them all in. With the guard towers now coming through for Nullus, these Mercenary, they stop being as efficient as you might think. Everyone looks at Mercenary and they're like, wow, Mercenary are so strong. Yes, they are, but guard towers, they're stronger. These are zero pop units as well, dealing much, much more damage, and they sit there for basically for free. Well, not for free. Obviously, you have to pay 300 resources for them, but they sit there for the rest of the game until they don't just die. So they're going to be helping out in a big way as the Son of Osiris gets picked off yet again, down to 180 HP, 144 HP, excuse me. As Kimo's 160 population, Nullus is 150 here. He's still trying to push in. Another option here would be to use this location with gas graffiti to start targeting the town center down, as the Son of Osiris now down to 30 HP, 20 HP, and it does end up getting sniped down. This is another big win here for Nullus, as he's still getting more and more towers on this location here. As the units continue to push through, siege tower about to get taken down on this position here as well, as the Heliopoli are going to start targeting down this town center here very, very shortly. And we'll see if Kimo can manage to keep this one alive without a Pharaoh or Son of Osiris here, as the raid's back over here, but with the fortress and boiling oil here as well. There's no saving those chariot archers, though they will get a couple of villager kills, as now a Petropolis going to be moving in here. I wouldn't mind seeing the Toxotes actually just focus firing some villagers down. There's a couple of very low HP villagers. Yes, they do have that Skin of the Rhino tech, which helps them out, but Kimo has dropped down to 0 gold here for a second there, as the villagers stop gathering. Well, we do see the shifting sands coming in, a couple of units coming over here, but Nullus can just delete these if he so chooses, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Get the units back in to the fight here as fast as possible. Priest coming in to start empowering this town center to keep it alive here. Kimo's still really struggling for gold at this point here, as the town center barely staying alive right now. Nullus has to target down that priest. It is out of position. We do see one. It doesn't even need to, as the town center ends up falling, and now Kimo is behind on score, behind on economy, behind on position, behind on town centers. What else can he do here in this game to keep himself going? We also see Some Gash Graffiti's coming through to take out the Migdol Stronghold and the markets of Kimo on that right corner there. Kimo's position is absolutely crumbling in this game, and Nullus has got his eyes set on this town center to be grabbed very, very shortly. Kimo can spam Mercenary from his home town center for the time being, but I mean, how much is that going to be able to help with all of these towers in already? By the time the Mercenary get here, they're already dead because these towers just pick them off so quickly. Town center now coming up. We do see a siege tower training, but that's going to get taken down very, very quickly. Or there is a siege tower already out here, but it's getting cleaned up by the heavy Hippocon of Nullus anyways. As the town center is slowly going to start coming up here, and we'll see if that siege works can go down before the siege tower does pop out as well. Meanwhile, on the front here, Kimo's going to be losing houses and everything else behind that as the Gajafridis are cleaning everything up. This market here about to fall as well, which will put a stop to the trade route of Kimo. He's only got that one market there, and in that moment, Kimo does decide to tap out. GG. Well played by Nullus. This is a solid game here from Nullus. I think Kimo should have had an inkling of what was going on here. And I do think that there needs to be some sort of thought process going into what is my opponent doing at the top level. For some, not for some reason, for the reason of Ra has got no scout. And Ra has got a strategy which just kind of gets you into a decent position every single game with that 2 town center fast farm. It tends to be that Ra players don't really start thinking about the game until around about 8 minutes into the game. Their first port of call is get themselves a town center. Their second port of call is how do I get my second gold mine? Once those 2 prerequisites are kind of ticked, that's when they start thinking about the rest of the game. But Nullus is one step ahead of Kimo in this one. He goes for the fast 3 town centers. But this does mean that Nullus is on the back foot, so to speak. And had Kimo just grabbed this forward town center first, and then also grabbed the back 3rd town center as well, his economy would have been a completely different beast in this game. In fact, if we take a look at the resource total here, you can see that, yeah, Kimo's in front here, but Nullus just catches up. So it doesn't matter that Kimo's got this resource advantage from having rain at this point. It doesn't matter unless he inflicts serious damage onto Nullus. But had he had that 3rd town center, there's no way that Nullus would have been able to overtake him here. And yes, this Plenty Vault does help out in a really, really big way. You can actually see how big of a help this becomes. You can see that Kimo's villages are starting to tick up, but he's only really equal to Nullus at 17 minutes into the game, whereas Nullus is in front at 11 minutes and 20 seconds into the game. He's got 7 minutes of being in front of Kimo villager-wise before Kimo starts kind of leveling out the playing field. And by that stage, Nullus has already gotten all his upgrades, and it doesn't matter that Kimo's got more economy than him because he doesn't have to spend it on upgrades anymore. So it makes so much sense, this strategy. If you guys like it, definitely give it a go to try and beat those pesky Ra players on the ladder. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you want to learn how to play a little bit more of a spicy Ra here, this map is super aggressive. And if you advance fast enough, I'm talking like a 4-minute advance time, 4:16 advance time, you can go for a classical fight here against the Hades. Idea being, you can build a box in your base to shifting sand that pesky Chiron back, and you could just shifting sands onto someone building a town center, a sneaky second town center while their heroes are trying to harass you, right? So you can kind of just retreat, pick off his villages, and you're actually in front with that shifting sands play. And then you can go for a little bit of something different there. There are some other plays here for Ra, definitely something to investigate. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this one, please consider the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next game.